So in your blog, when you mentioned returning to sex work and returning to OnlyFans, you were also saying how you kind of started to like see yourself a little bit like as an avatar, if you will. So when you started seeing yourself in like this sexual way, it was, you said not bad, but just like odd, right? So when you made the decision to start escorting, was there also like the same disconnect? Because a lot of people will probably think that's wild, right? Like we see these movies like, what's that movie on HBO, The Call Girl or Girlfriend Experience, right? Like that's most people's knowledge when it comes to escorting, or they think the opposite, which is someone who's very like hooked on drugs and in poverty and doing it because like they have to, right? Like there's very few people that would look at you and think, you know, she probably escorts, right? Like you look just homey, like sweet.
Yeah, escorting
wholesome is what I meant to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I look like the girl next door, which is somewhat intentional.
Yeah.
Ooh, excuse me. When I was escorting, escorting felt like the best sex work to me, like the healthiest, easiest to do.
Really?
Yeah.
How is that? How?
Believe it or not, I think it was because there wasn't an asymmetry in attention. Like it was always one-on-one. And with online work, it's like one to many. I do a thing and then like 1,000 people see it. Or like if somebody sends me a message, like I have to respond to 100 messages that day. And so there's some like necessary dehumanization that occurs both ways. Like people kind of have to dehumanize me because they know that I'm like this object of gaze like up here. And I sort of have to dehumanize them because like I functionally can't humanize every single person who watches me or like wants to talk to me. But with escorting, it felt like closest to actually an organic human experience. And there was still a weird dynamic, but it felt like I actually got the time to get to know somebody and have a real connection with them. And often it was, you know, not meaningful, but sometimes it was really meaningful. Like I actually ended up making really good connections with people and feeling like maybe I was benefiting people's lives in a way that was much more obvious. And so it was so much more fulfilling. That would be, if I could make as much money escorting as I do on OnlyFans, that would be my ideal form of work.
I think that's going to be like very surprising to a lot of people because it seems like it would be a very scary line of work to get into, right? Because I mean, I don't know like the vetting process or your vetting process, but it does seem that you could be in a potentially dangerous situation. So would you say that's a lot of the reason why people are pushing to legalize it is to make it safer?
Yeah, I mean, decriminalization would be great. I'm like really wary of more restrictions getting put on what I decided would be best for me individually. I was lucky. All of my online sex work training like helps me know how to market really well. So I was pretty good at marketing myself and I charged quite a lot of money, about $1,200 an hour. And so that helped automatically filter for people who are wealthy clients, and wealthy clients tend to treat you better. So I was very lucky. I only had like maybe 2 experiences that were scary. But screening goes a long way. The one worst experience I had was a guy who I think I forgot to screen. I screened everybody, but like one guy fell through the cracks. I don't know what happened. And it just like, I didn't like do a thorough job. And then that was the guy that fucked me over. But most standard screening is you get references from 2 other girls. So you have 2 other girls like contact you and be like, yes, this guy was good. And that is pretty good. You check those girls and make sure that they are verified, they're valid, they're real people who actually see clients. And that helps.